Hi there, I'm Heather Darden. I'm here to do a 1 hour video teaching you how to do Sun Salutation B with some adaptations and learning how to do it as a moving meditation so that you can really turn inward and focus on your breath and on what you are feeling rather than how it looks. So, yoga is really about how it feels and about your breath. So stay with me and we'll do Sun Salutation B from Ashtanga. I'll go over it, breaking it down, adding in modifications. And I do want to let you know that as the teacher, I will be taking modifications. If you know the Sun Salutation really well and you're just doing this as a review and you do jump backs, please feel free to do your jump back and jump forward. Just make sure you're taking care of your shoulders and your back. I will not be doing them. I had appendix surgery, so my core is not where I can do jump backs. Um, so again, I'll be taking care of myself, just stepping backward and forward, and I will show you how to do that with nice open hips. So we will start with a warm up, and then we'll move through the different movements that make up Sun Salutation B from Ashtanga. And then we'll move through it and I will show you some modifications as we go through until eventually it becomes a really sweet moving meditation with your breath. Here we go. 1 hour on Sun Salutation B. I hope you enjoy. So to begin, just come to a seated position on your mat. I always like to take a moment before I begin an asana movement practice to really tune in to what's happening inside of myself. So I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Just come to an easy seated position, any position your legs are happy in. So it might be a wide V, it could be Sukhasana like I'm doing, it might be a bound angle. This can feel really good, the bound angle, if you've been seated at a desk for a long time during your day. So this might be a good choice. It's early in my day, so this is a bit much on my inner thighs, so I'll be coming back to an easy seated pose. Once you're here, wiggle around a little bit. Make sure you feel like you're definitely on your sitting bones and nice and strong spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. You can leave your hands down on your knees. You can flip them over so the palms are up in a more receptive posture. Allow your eyes to close if you feel comfortable doing that. If you don't, then just let your eyelids be heavy and allow your eyes to go out of focus. And bring your awareness to your breath. We'll be moving with the breath throughout practice today. So I'll be reminding you to inhale and exhale. If you're having allergies, I strongly encourage you as much as you can to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. If they're so bad that you have tissues nearby, then just take it easy, do the best you can with your breath, and use tissues as you have to. And just take a few inhales and exhales, and notice where in your body you feel your breath. Sometimes it helps to put hands on your body, your upper and lower abdomen, or even up on your chest, just to see where the breath is going as you inhale and exhale. Allow your shoulders to be very heavy. And notice the pace of your breath. Is it fast or slow? There's no right or wrong answer. There's just what's happening for you in this moment. And then leaving some attention on where your breath is and its pace. Take your awareness a little deeper. How is this breath making you feel? How do you feel physically? How do you feel mentally? And how do you feel emotionally? Notice whether your legs have tensed up as you sit here. If they have, see if you can gently release them all the way back down, allowing the muscles of the inner thighs to let go, allowing your bones to support you. And gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring it all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. And exhale completely, maybe with a yawn. Just to open up the jaw. Inhale deeply. Exhale with a yawn. That was a real yawn. Inhale deeply. Exhale one more time with a yawn. Really stretch out your jaw. I'm just going to start with some small movements with the neck. So gently bring your head forward. Let your chin come to your chest. Melt your shoulders back and down. And then going to slowly roll your right ear toward your right shoulder. You'll notice some sensations in the left side of your neck. If you want to increase this sensation or change it a little bit, you can take your left hand and place it down on the mat, maybe walk on your fingers, walk it out a little bit, and you'll notice the sensations move around to a slightly different place. You might notice that they increase in sensation. If you want even more, you can, or something different, you can bring your right hand up and just place your right hand on your head. It's just the weight of your arm and hand gently drawing the muscles longer. You're not using muscle to pull the head over. This is too much for me. My neck is really tight today, so I'm going to let my hand stay in my lap. 2 more breaths here, opening up the side of the neck. Walk your hand back in, place it in your lap. Gently roll your chin back to your chest. Notice the difference between the 2 sides of your neck. And now take your left ear toward your left shoulder, stopping when you feel sensations engage. And again, you can take your right hand, walk it out on your fingertips, create some different sensations. You can bring your left hand up and let the weight of your hand and arm draw out some different sensations. Just make sure that it feels good. You don't want to get into areas of discomfort or pain. If you are going, right up against the edge here, you might want to back off just a little bit. The neck does get tight. We are looking down at screens or across at screens all day long, while our neck is supporting our 7 to 10 pound head. So keep that in mind. Your neck does a lot of work. It's not good to push it too far. Last deep breath here. And slowly bring your head back to center. Walk your hand back in. Notice the difference between the two sides. Notice how it feels compared to how it felt earlier when you started this. And gently bring your chin back up to gaze forward. Breathe deeply. Roll your shoulders back and down a few times. So sun salutation B does involve a lot of planks and downward facing dogs. So we're going to do some cat and cow followed by thread the needle. I'll be doing it with my side facing you so that you can see what my body is doing. If you need a better reference for thread the needle, like the picture I'm giving you is not strong enough, you might consider Googling Yoga Journal, Thread the Needle. Yoga Journal is a good resource for photos that are from different angles to help you figure out how to do the pose in your body. So if the information I'm giving is not enough, please feel free, pause the video, go look up Yoga Journal, Thread the Needle, and make sure you're doing it right for your body. Here we go. You're going to come to all fours, tabletop position. You want your fingers opened out wide, thumbs relaxed. Hands are underneath your shoulders, or if you have shoulder issues, you can bump them out like a 1/4 inch wider to make room for any scar tissue that might be there. You want your knees underneath your hip bones, not your hip flesh. So you're nice and supported by your bones. You can turn your toes up underneath you if you want. I like the tops of my feet down. Turning my toes up underneath me just creates pressure in my back that I don't enjoy. Inhale, cow pose, sway your back, take your heart forward, look up. Exhale, cat pose, arch your back strongly. Take your nose towards your belly button and your chin towards your chest. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 3 more times with your breath. Inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. And take a moment, press back to child's pose. Knees together will open up your lower back a little bit more. You can also do it with your knees apart. That will open up your outer hips a little bit more. I prefer it with my knees apart just because I have a lot of breast tissue that can feel crushed when my knees are together. You can let your forehead rest on the mat, or if it doesn't quite make it to the mat, then just use a block and let your forehead rest. Take a few deep breaths here. Maybe wiggle your hips side to side. Maybe you gently rock your head side to side, massaging your third eye. Notice how your lower back is feeling today. And notice where your breath has gone. In this compact position, it can be easy to make your breath a little more shallow or to just forget it altogether. So do take some time, be with your breath. And here we come back up to tabletop position for thread the needle. So for thread the needle, you come back to tabletop, you inhale. This time take your right arm up, reach up, find some opening across your heart, and then thread your right hand between your left arm and both of your thighs, bringing your right shoulder down to the mat. So this is not enough opening for me. It may be for you. If it is not, you can try walking your left hand up toward the left top corner of your mat and gently pressing in. Some people like to take their hand, wrap it around their lower back. The modification I really like, or the version I really like, is to take your left leg parallel to your mat, press into the bottom of your foot. That always helps me get into the area of my shoulder that I like the best.
Try out different versions and see what you like best. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Remember, the breath is all important. If you're moving and you can't breathe, slow down, come back to your breath, and then rejoin us for the movement part. To come out of your thread the needle, you took your hand out, bring it back so it's right in front of your face. If you took your leg out, bend your knee in, bring it back down where it goes. Press into your left hand. Take your right hand back up. Bring your right hand down. Same thing on the other side. Take your left hand up. Thread it through your right arm and your legs. Bring your left shoulder down. So now you can see it from the other side, the back side. Again, you can walk your right hand out to the right hand corner. You can wrap it around your waist. You can take your right leg parallel to the mat and press into your foot. All of these things will move the stretch into a slightly different part of your shoulder. So make sure you're doing a part that is really beneficial for you, depending on what you do during the day. 3 more deep breaths here. Really focus in on your breath. Notice what your shoulder is feeling. Keep your breath deep and full. And with your next inhale, if you took your arm out, bring your hand back by your face. Bring your right knee down to the mat. Inhale, bring your left arm up, and then bring it back down. We're going to move up and back to downward facing dog, just to kind of work out some wiggles. I like to walk my hands, just one hand length in front of me, turn my toes up underneath me, and press up and back to downward facing dog. So take a moment here, bend your knees alternately, stretch out your legs, find some gentle movement. You also might want to try taking your hips side to side. That moves the stretch into my calves. Sometimes it feels good to do pelvic tilts here, just taking my belly button toward my head and then away from my head. That can feel really good in my lower back and in my hamstrings. Move in ways that feel good for you. Keep pressing the floor away with your hands and keep drawing your shoulder blades down toward your waist so you're not allowing any collapsing, which will cut off your breath. The most important thing is your breath. Come to stillness. Notice how you feel in your downward facing dog. Breathe. Take tiny steps all the way up toward your hands to come to a forward fold and hang heavy. You can bring your hands to opposite elbows. You can bend your knees. I like to bend one knee and then the other to create a gentle swaying motion and shake my head yes and no, just to make sure my neck is really releasing. If you're bending your knees alternately, just gently slow it down until you're hanging heavy, as heavy as you can possibly be. And gently release your hands. Stay still. Press into your feet. Slowly stack yourself all the way up. Roll your shoulders back and down. And take a moment. Notice how you're feeling since the beginning of class. Notice where your breath is. If it's moved up into your upper chest, take a moment, bring it back down to your lower chest, your belly area, and breathe deeply.
How you doing? Oh, I think I might need to check in with my videoing. Okay, doing all right. Um, so you can see most of my body, what my head is doing is not really that important at this point. We are going to work on breaking down the different poses for Sun Salutation B from Ashtanga. So the first pose is Victorious Mountain. So you want to come to a standard mountain pose, feet in line with your hip bones, shoulders rolled back and down. Draw the muscles beneath your belly button in and up. That way you're keeping your lower back safe. Keep these muscles beneath your belly button drawn in and up throughout class. You'll still be able to get a nice deep breath in your lower lungs. You only want them engaged, not full like bikini photo engagement, just at about 40%. So you can feel your lower back having some support. Roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale, bring your arms out and up. You can look up at your hands. You can stay gazing forward, whichever works best for your body. That is the one you should do. Remember, it's not how it looks that matters, it's how it feels. Slide your shoulder blades down towards your waist. Breathe deeply. Exhale. Sink into chair pose. So bend your knees. Take your bottom back and down. You should be able to see your toes past your knees. And notice where the weight is in your foot. If it's all forward, that's going to feel a little weird. If it's all in the back, all the pressure is going to be in your thighs and knees. So see if you can gently rock your weight forward and back on your feet until you feel the weight evenly distributed along the whole foot, accepting the arch, of course. So classic pose, to take your arms up above your head and gaze up past your fingers. You can have your hands together and have them apart. But this can be a little much if you've got a lot of shoulder injuries, which I have a history of shoulder injuries. So I just keep my hands at my heart. This is also acceptable. You're still squeezing your shoulder blades together. You're still getting the chest opening. You're still in a strong chair pose. Breathe deeply here. One more deep inhale and exhale. Really get it in your body. Notice how it feels. And dive forward into forward fold. Let your head be heavy. Let your hands be heavy. You can, if you want, bring your arms back along your calves and draw yourself a little closer. You can shift your weight more into the balls of your feet if that feels good. Just notice what you need. Inhale, press into your shins or your thighs. Look out and lengthen. Make that number 7. So you want a long spine here. Really lengthen out through the crown of your head. Lengthen out through your sitting bones. Breathe deeply. Exhale. Fold. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step your feet back. High plank pose. So if high plank does not feel good for you, you're allowing your tummy to sort of cave in like this, watch it. You really want your bottom in line with your spine. So if having your legs extended causes you to come down here, it means you need a little more work on your core. So just bring your knees down and bring the tops of your feet down. That's what I'll be doing throughout class. I had appendix surgery, so my core is not back where it was. It's not healed yet. But, you work through it slowly and you eventually get there. So here's your plank pose. You're going to slowly lower just halfway down. Take a moment here to be in modified chaturanga, and then lower all the way down. So instead of up dog in this modified Sun Salutation B, we will be doing cobra, just because it's a nice back bend. It's a good replacement for up dog, and it'll keep the flow going
without losing any of the benefits of full sun salutation B. So press the tops of your feet down, press your hip bones down, press into your hands, and just curl up to a baby cobra to start with. You should be able to lift your hands up and still just using your abs. Hold yourself up and then slowly lower down. Staying on your knees, press up in one piece, coming back to plank on the knees. Turn your toes up underneath you, press up and back, downward facing dog. In the traditional Ashtanga version of Sun Salutation B, you stay here in down dog for 5 breaths. So if this is too much for your wrists or your arms, you're just not feeling downward facing dog as restful, you can always come up and come up into downward facing dog and then melt into child's pose for about 3 or 4 of the breaths. So this is one version you can do. I'll show you other versions as we go along. Stay focused on your breath. If you come into child's pose, gently turn your toes up underneath you, press up and back, returning to downward facing dog. So in the usual Sun Salutation B, there is a hop forward here. It's really more of a lifting up your bottom and letting your legs sort of swing forward. But like I said before, I had appendix surgery, so I'm not quite there yet. So here's what I'm going to do instead. I'm going to look up. I'm going to bring my right foot as far forward as I can, placing it down as gently as I can. Excuse me, there's lint or hair in my mouth. And then I'm going to press into my right foot and take a bunch of weight out of my left foot and allow it to swing forward, to come back to my forward fold. I'll go over that swing in just a moment. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up directly into chair pose. Again, check in on your feet. Bring your hands to your heart if hands above your shoulders doesn't feel good. And then press all the way up into mountain. Reach your arms out and up. Exhale. Let your hands come down to your side in Samastitihi, same standing pose. So the leg swing that I was talking about can be difficult to achieve. So instead of having a movement where you're bending your knee and sort of pressing and launching up, can you see how I'm pressing? It's more of a jumping motion. It sends this foot off kilter. I have to really adjust for it, and I almost fall over. So you really want the movement to come more from your lower abdominals and your hips so that it's more of a using your core to come up and then swing it. Almost like you come up into sort of a mini warrior 3 and then swing it forward. So to get that hip opening, I'm going to show you at least one exercise you can do to get your hips a little more open and strong. So if you have a block, grab it. If not, grab a book, a nice hardcover book that you can use instead. And what you do to create that hip opening is you're going to bring one foot and step onto the block. So you're now balancing on the block. Keep a slight bend in your knee. Don't hyperextend your knee for your standing leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders back and down. Draw your belly button in and up. And then gently swing your other leg like it's a pendulum. The bigger you can swing it, the more you'll need to use your core to stabilize. Eventually, see if you can swing it more forward than back.
and you'll feel some opening. This is the feeling, the motion that you want in your muscles when you are moving your legs forward, whether you're jumping forward or stepping forward. We did it on one side, so we're going to do it on the other side. Get your block underneath your other foot. Bring the muscles of your belly button in and up. Bend your knee and your standing leg and gently begin to swing. Remember to start with small swings first. Keep your foot flexed and active. And then see if you can take it more forward using your abdominals to lift it up a little higher. Breathe deeply. And you can do this throughout your day, like while you're at work. If you're having trouble with balance, have a wall nearby so you can place your hand on the wall as you swing. And then gently bring the swinging to stillness. Place your foot down. Take your blocker book out of the way. So it's that pendulum-like movement that you want to move your leg forward. If you are taking the jump throughs, it's almost like you're doing a handstand. So your hands are down, you reach your bottom up from downward facing dog, shift some weight into your hands, and pendulum both legs forward. So for the modification, we'll just be penduluming, moving like a pendulum with one leg at a time. The first leg, it'll be more like a step. Second leg will be a pendulum. So we'll alter which one we take forward each time. Okay, we'll be taking turns. Here we go. Sun Salutation B with modifications, working on swinging the leg, strengthening the core, and taking care of the wrists. You might want to take a drink of water. I'm going to. And come back to your mat. We'll do one Beanie Yoga Sun Salutation together to warm up, and then we'll start working on Sun Salutation B. We will slowly speed it up to match one movement to either an inhale or an exhale. Some of them will be very long. Feel free to ignore my count and do what you need to do as far as your breath goes. Always take care of yourself. Make sure you're feeling good. So, Beanie Yoga Sun Salutation to get back to warm. Inhale, bring your arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, hands to heart. And then hands at your side. Samasthiti for beginning Sun Salutation B. We'll move through it, taking a few breaths in each pose. I'll go over the modifications. Eventually, we'll move to me just saying inhale and exhale. I'll give you warning before that happens, so don't worry. Here we go. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach your arms out and up. Look up or stay looking forward, whatever works best for your system. Exhale, chair pose. Remember, you want the weight distributed evenly across your whole foot. Arches lifting. You can bring your hands to your heart. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathe. Notice where the weight is. If it's all gone forward or back, see if you can shift it back into the whole foot. And keep your knees above your ankles. Don't allow them to cant out or to knock together. Exhale, release it and forward fold. Hang heavy. You can bring your hands back behind you to draw yourself closer. You can also bend your knees until your torso is resting on your thighs. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, press into your shins or thighs. Look out and lengthen. Make the number 7 with your body.
Exhale, fold. Bring your hands down, step your feet back for plank or plank on the knees, which is what I'll be doing. We'll take a few breaths here. Really use your core to keep yourself in line. Press the floor away actively through your hands so your shoulders and the muscles between your shoulder blades are very active. We're going to lower to half plank just to practice strengthening. Keep your elbows close to your body. Don't allow them to chicken out. And see if you can get your body in line with your arms. Slowly lower all the way down. Keep the tops of your feet down. Scoop your belly button up toward your nose. Come up, baby cobra. Slide your shoulder blades down towards your waist. Don't allow your arms to flip out. Keep them close to your body. Come all the way down. Press into your knees. Come up, half plank. Turn your toes up underneath you. Downward facing dog, or a combination of down dog and child's pose for 5 breaths. I'll be staying in down dog. I find that more relaxing, more restful. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With your next inhale, you're going to try that swinging leg forward. So step left foot forward, press into your left foot, come up on the left toes, take your toes up off the mat, swing your foot forward next to your other foot, hang heavy. Inhale, press into your shins or your thighs, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to chair pose. Breathe deeply. Victorious Mountain, reach your arms out and up, slide your shoulder blades down. And then bring your hands back down, Samastitihi. Breathe. Take a moment to absorb what you've just done. Remember, we are moving toward making this a moving meditation. So as much as you can, as you flow, see if you feel comfortable closing your eyes or just letting your eyelids be very heavy. We'll flow through this a few times. The first 2 times, I will give breath direction and the name of the posture. The next 2 times, I'll just be saying inhale and exhale. Remember, you don't have to breathe with my cues. Just breathe like you need to breathe. I'll be taking a water break before we begin that. And here we go. Sun Salutation B with modifications. Inhale, bring your arms out and up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Bring your hands down. Step or hop your feet back. It's a long exhale. And slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale. Come up through half plank. Down dog, 5 breaths, or child's pose. 1, 2. Remember, you don't have to stay still here. You can move your bottom around. You can move your knees around. 4, 5. Inhale. Step your left foot forward. Press into your left foot. Come up on your right toes. Swing your right foot forward. Look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up. Chair pose. Exhale, mountain. Samasthiti. Take an inhale here. Right leg will move forward this time because we did the left leg first. Inhale, bring your arms out and up. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold, bring your hands down. Step back. Plank on your knees, lower down. Exhale. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, half plank, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Press into your right foot, come up on your left tippy toes. Swing your left foot forward. Hang heavy. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up. Chair pose. Exhale, Samasthiti. Take an inhale and an exhale here. Check in with how you're feeling with your practice. Note if you want to make any modifications. 2 more times, flowing with your eyes closed if you can, focusing on your breath. I will just be cueing inhale and exhale. If you forget what to do, just look up at the screen. I'll be demonstrating it. And I'll remind you whether we're doing left or right first. This time it'll be left. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 5 inhales and exhales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale your left foot forward. Come up on your right toes. Use your core. Swing it forward. Inhale, look out and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale.
Exhale. Inhale. Long exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 5 inhales and exhales. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time, the right foot comes forward. Step your right foot forward. Press into your right foot. Come up on your left toes. Use your core. Swing it forward. Look out and lengthen. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Samasthiti. Inhale and exhale here. So we did a lot with our core. We did a lot with our wrists. So I'm going to do some nice wrist shakes. So just shake your wrists out. Act like they're fish on the end of your arms. Really shake them, shake them, shake them. And then take your legs out wide. You can turn your toes out slightly. Let your heels come up. And just let go of that practice. Let your fists give you a gentle massage. Hopefully this is helping your wrists as well. Remember to keep breathing deeply. And gently slow your circles down. And come down to seated all the way down on your mat. Open your legs out in a wide V. Keep your toes flexed up towards your head. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Aim your sitting bones for the wall behind you rather than the floor below you. And just come forward as far as you're comfortable doing. Some people will be able to lay out flat just because of the way their hips are structured. You may not be able to do that. I know I cannot. But we're going to be here for about 7 breaths. So just release as much as you can. Keep flexing your toes up towards your head, though, to keep the knees from hyperextending. And gently press into your hands. Come back up to a seated position. Bring your hands underneath your knees. Gently bring your legs together. Take your hands back behind you. And just windshield wiper your legs side to side. And gently release. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees open out wide. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. You can press your forearms into your legs as you hinge over, or you can just walk your hands out and hinge over, depending on what kind of sensations you want. 5 to 7 breaths here. Inhale, come up. Bring your hands underneath your knees. Bring your knees together. Gently rock them side to side. Take a moment right now and notice whether there are any other stretches that you need before we come to our final relaxation position. So remember, for your final relaxation position, you can be laid out long on the mat. You can bend your knees, take your feet wide, and let your knees collapse against each other for some relief into your lower back. Or you can make a pillow with your arm for your head and gently roll onto your side in the fetal position. Whatever you're choosing, make sure you can really melt in that position. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Find yourself a comfortable position. Get any wiggles out that you might need to get out. You might want to take a stretch out long on your mat. You might want to do some simple spinal twists or a happy baby. Take what you need to take, eventually bringing yourself to stillness. So the focus today was Ashtanga Sun Salutation B with modifications, learning how to swing your leg forward and back, really anchor into your core, and modifications to keep your wrist from getting too much pressure. If you continue with this practice, you will eventually be able to do the jump backs and the jump throughs without hurting your shoulders. But make sure you've gotten really strong before you give those a try. For now, as you lie there, let your eyes be heavy in their sockets. You can allow your eyes to close or just let your eyelids be heavy and just melt. Let go of your practice and focus in on your breath. We've been using a particular rhythm for our breath during this class. For your final relaxation, just let go of any conscious breath. Breathe like you do when you're going to sleep. So it's easy, it's effortless, it's just you relaxing and breathing. Notice any thoughts that are coming up for you now. And instead of jumping into the story of your thoughts, instead of doing that, label each thought. So your brain will know, hey, I've recognized it, I see you, and then allow it to float away on your next exhale. So an example would be, oh, that's about groceries later. Thank you. Exhale, let it float away. Oh, that's about the meeting yesterday. Thank you. Exhale, let it float away. Continue labeling each thought as they come up, and if no more thoughts come up, then that's great. Just keep breathing. As thoughts continue to come up, continue labeling them, allowing them to float away, focusing on the stillness of your body, focusing on your breath, allowing your mind to come to this same stillness. I'm going to quiet my voice now so that you can focus on the stillness in your body and mind. Remember, if you find yourself jumping into a story, just gently label that story, allow it to float away on your next exhale, and focus it once more on your breath. You can continue absorbing your practice. I invite you to do so. You can always bring yourself out of it very gently. If you need to move on with your day and you're coming with me, just start with some gentle movement. Deepen your breath. Gently rock your head side to side. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle out your wrists and your ankles one way and then the other way. Eventually coming to a long stretch on your mat. Really reach out through your fingers and toes. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then bring your knees into your chest or take them out wide for a happy baby, whichever serves you better. You can come to lying on one side and gently press up to an easy seated position, or you can rock and roll up for a nice spinal massage. Just keep your chin tucked in toward your chest. You can take a moment, send gratitude to yourself for your practice, gratitude for your breath. And if you feel comfortable, you can bow with me in gratitude to all those that came before us to bring us this practice. And thank you for practicing with me. Have a wonderful rest of your day.